Morning. Good. Well, nah, it's not even morning. Good afternoon. Yo, welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Shout out to you for locking in for another edition of My Plate, My Choice. Of course, y'all know My Plate, My Choice is our time to get interactive in the kitchen. Um, I don't know. I love these Mondays. I love equally the single life, but I love this too because this is beneficial for us as a whole and just our overall health and making sure we're here, making sure we're putting the right things in our body, making sure we're taking care of our bodies. God has blessed us with such an amazing opportunity to live and operate in this body. So our job in response to that is to take care of this body, right? You think about it, your parents, I can remember specifically my dad one time when my dad bought my first car. And I'd never been a fan. If y'all know anything about me now, you still know I'm not really a fan of like washing my truck. But at the time I had a car. And so my dad said, son, like I already bought the car. The least you could do is wash the car, right? The least you could do is take care of the car. I bought the car. You could take care of the car. But it wasn't that I wasn't taking care of it. I wasn't really big on like washing my car. But I said that to say this: God blessed us with this body. The least we could do is take care of it. The least we could do is take care of this body. The least we could do is make sure we're putting the right things in our body. Yeah. It's fun to eat sweets. It's fun to eat desserts. It's fun to eat all that bad stuff. It's fun. Absolutely. It's fun. It's fun. But is that taking care of your body? Is that going to keep you here? I'm not trying to condemn anybody, but I'm just saying our job is to take care of the body that God has blessed us with. So that's why I look forward to these Mondays, because it gives us an opportunity to just have an open forum to talk about, things that you all may have questions about as far as your nutrition. A lot of times, one of the biggest issues that we have in life is that we're not clear. We don't have clarity on information. So these Mondays provide clarity. You guys are always able, you do ask questions in the chat, and we get real active on here. All right. So listen, let's get to it. Today, I want to talk to you. I'm going to show you guys a recipe. I am going to show you guys a recipe. This is probably my go-to recipe for cooking the specific thing we're going to cook today. So I will show you guys that. But I do want to say this to you guys. Well, I want to ask you a question. Let me start with this question. How many of you all eat fish throughout the span of your week? And when I say throughout the span of your week, I am not talking about fried fish. Do not talk to me about whiting fish. Do not talk to me about catfish. Do not talk to me about those types of fish. That is not what I'm talking about. Outside of those, do you eat fish, grilled fish, baked fish, something of that nature over the course of your week? Are you taking in servings? Because we know we love chicken, right? We love chicken. Absolutely. We love chicken. We love ground beef. We love a good burger. We love a good steak, right? But fish has a lot more nutritional benefits for our body. So the recipe that I'm going to show you guys today, it is fish. It's salmon. You all know, I'm sorry. I'm biased. I apologize. I love salmon. Like when I tell you all I eat salmon 5-6 days a week, I do. And sometimes 2 times a day. Like I absolutely love salmon. It is beautiful. Yes, Faith Walker, I eat salmon. I eat salmon 1 to 2 times a week for my omega-3s. Yes, salmon is great for your omega-3s. I'll give you a couple things, right? I'll give you a couple things before we get into this recipe, okay? So listen, one of the reasons why I push you all to eat fish, and not just salmon, like when I say fish, you can eat salmon, you can eat trout. Trout is a good one. Tilapia is pretty good too. Just kind of some things to mix it up in there. But listen, fish is high in your important nutrients. Yes, as Faith just mentioned, fatty fish is a boost in your omega-3 fatty acids, which are crucial for optimal body and brain function and strongly linked to a reduced risk in many diseases. Listen, I talked to you, I spent all last year kind of outlining for everyone like different diseases and how our bodies are affected by what we eat. Like, yeah, while we sit at the table, we don't really think about it because the food is good and we enjoyed it. And that's all that matters, right? That's all that matters. No. A lot of the diseases that we deal with in life are linked to what we eat. So here's the thing. Eating fish, give you a couple quick facts. Number one, well, I just gave you number one. Number two, it may lower your risk of heart attacks and strokes. Gave you this before. Number three, it contains nutrients that are crucial during development. Omega-3 fatty acids are essential for growth and development. The omega-3 is especially important for brain and eye development. Yeah, it matters what you eat. You remember when we were kids, they say you are what you eat. Yes, you are what you eat. Come on now. Question 4 may boost brain health. Now, mind you, everything I give you is not something that somebody just like went online and just typed. No, this is research. There is scientific proof to back everything I'm saying. Everything I mentioned, these studies have been tested. Okay. So may boost brain health. 5, may help prevent and treat depression. Now, I'm going to read this to you because you may not think about it, but may help prevent and treat depression. Depression is a common mental condition that is characterized by low mood, sadness, decreased energy, and loss of interest in life and activities. Although it isn't discussed nearly as much as heart disease or obesity, depression is currently one of the world's biggest health problems. Studies have found that people who eat fish regularly are more or less likely to become depressed. Numerous controlled trials revealed that the omega-3 fatty acids may fight depression and significantly increase the effectiveness of antidepressant medications. Guys, you are what you eat. You are what you eat. Fish, a good dietary source of vitamin D. 7, may reduce your risk of autoimmune disease. I'm going to read that one to you. Eating fish may reduce your risk of autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease is like type 1 diabetes, which you know it's dominant in our culture, right? Not that it has to be, it's just because we choose to keep eating the wrong things. Autoimmune diseases like type 1 diabetes occur when your immune system mistakenly attacks and destroys healthy body tissues. Several studies link omega-3 or fish oil intake to a reduced risk of type 1 diabetes in children, as well as a form of autoimmune diabetes in adults. You are what you eat. You are what you eat, guys. We have to pay attention to what we're putting in our body. Like I said when I opened up the show, God has blessed us with this body. The least we can do is take care of it. God has blessed us with this body. The least we can do is take care of the body that God blessed us with. Yes, God blessed us with the body. The least we can do is take care of it. Let me give you number 9. Listen, for my older, not older, I'm gonna say my more seasoned crowd. For my more seasoned crowd on here, all right, my more seasoned crowd, an increased fish intake may protect your vision in old age. Age-related macular degeneration, AMD, is a leading cause of vision impairment and blindness that mostly affects adults, older adults. Some evidence suggests that fish and omega-3 fatty acids may protect against this disease. In one study, regular fish intake was linked to a 42% lower risk of AMD in women. You are what you eat. Like, we don't have to go fault anyone else for the things that we deal with. It's us. It's what we're taking into our body. Yo, your health matters. But your health doesn't just matter when you're sitting in a doctor's office. It matters when you're walking down the aisles of the grocery store. It matters when you're pulling up at a fast food restaurant. It matters when you're at a barbecue. It matters. It matters. We have got to start making better decisions. I'll give you a good one. This is a gimme. This is the last one, then we'll get into it. Increased fish may improve sleep quality. Sleep disorders have become incredibly common worldwide. Increased exposure to blue light may play a role, but some researchers believe that a vitamin D deficiency may also be involved. In a 6-month study in 95 middle-aged men, a meal with salmon 3 times per week led to improvements in both sleep and daily function. You are what you eat. I can't stress this enough. You are what you eat. You are what you eat. I promise you, your health changes based on what you're taking in. You got to think about it. If you never take your car to get serviced, the lifespan of that car is going to be very short. Not because the car was a lemon, not because it wasn't made properly, not because there were errors in putting the car together. No, because you didn't do your part in the upkeep or maintenance of said vehicle. This body that you have a responsibility not only to yourself, but to God to upkeep and maintain what he has blessed you with. I have to maintain it. Say it in your house. I have to maintain it. You have to maintain this. You have to maintain it. Yes, a daily confession. I need this to be a daily confession. I have to maintain the body that God has blessed me with. I got to maintain it. It's real simple. I have to maintain the body that God has blessed me with. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to show y'all one of my, I'll bring up the other camera. All right, here we go. So we got salmon. Like I told you guys, this is absolutely my favorite. I can eat salmon, listen, every day of the week without fail. There is never a hindrance to eating salmon. All right, so I'm going to show you guys one of my favorite recipes for salmon, and it doesn't miss. It's really simple. And you know why I'm going to show you all this recipe for salmon? Listen. A lot of times, and with us, those of you that look like me, those of you that look like me, if you get my drift, we tend to overcook things. We tend to overcook things. And I see a lot of people eat salmon and the salmon looks just as dry. If you eat salmon, you say, man, I just don't like salmon. It's just always so dry. I got to put some sauce on it. I got to put this. No, now the recipe I'm going to make does have a sauce. It is a sauce with the recipe. But listen, if you don't overcook the fish, you will not dry it out. But a lot of times we feel like we got to cook it till it's firm like chicken. And no, that is not how you mess with salmon. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys. All right. So I got 2 pieces of salmon. I thought about like wasting a piece and just showing you all what overcooked salmon looks like, so you all could know that, you know, what you've been doing in your house is indeed overcooking salmon. It's okay. Don't feel bad. Like, nobody knows that I'm talking to you. Like, nobody knows that's you. It's you, and it's multiple of you that overcook salmon. Nobody knows. This is just between you and God. So now you're going to get the information today. Now you start putting it to use, okay? We don't have to overcook salmon. When you cook it and you dry it out and salmon just breaks apart like pieces of chicken nuggets, it is indeed overcooked. It is indeed overcooked. Your salmon, like when you check your salmon, honestly, like here's a good rule of thumb, right? So this right here, this piece of your hand, like, and it's also true for steak. You kind of measure the firmness as far as like knowing whether your food is done, well done, or like medium. You know, you can kind of check it here. You can look that up, how to check it on your hand, because I spent more time talking on that. But listen, so let's get to it. All right. So first question, when y'all cook salmon, do y'all season both sides? Now this is skinless, so there is no skin on the bottom side of this. When you all cook salmon, do you season both sides? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Just keep it to yourself. If you season both sides of your salmon, it's not necessary. Like we just less is more. Less is more. Less is more. Less is more. All right. So look, y'all know I'm always gonna start with Pam as my base. I'm gonna use the butter flavored Pam. Y'all know why I use Pam, because read the back of the label and you will understand, versus using regular oil. All right. So boom. So here we go. Real quick. Spray that down. Let that set. Now I've already washed my salmon, just like I preached to you guys about washing your chicken. I also wash salmon. Wash your fish. When you pull your fish out of the pack, wash it. There is slimy, nasty. Wash it. Okay? Wash it. Can't stress it enough. Wash it. Okay? So boom, here we go. Now I'm going to go with kind of a base seasoning. I hate to show y'all this because every time I feel like I show you all this, like I can't find it in the store anymore. This is like my base seasoning for everything, right? I've been around like numerous chefs and they always kind of have like a base seasoning, and they like chefs really will make up their own kind of base seasoning, and it's usually built with salt, pepper. It might be some garlic in there. It might be some dill. It might be some whatever herbs and spices like they tend to favor, like that's kind of going to be their base. So you're always going to have a base for what you cook. So yes, this is my base. Yes, Miss Beverly, thank you for jumping in. I have to maintain my body every day. I need that to be a confession for us. I must maintain my body at the drive-through. I can't get this because I got to maintain my body. All right, listen, let's get to it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go just kind of a light coat across right? Again, I told you guys, we don't have to season both sides. You do not need to season both sides. It's not necessary. Little light. One side is going to be enough. I promise you. And I'm going to cook both sides. I'm going to cook. Listen, I got a surprise for y'all. Got a new little toy. Y'all can see it a little bit right here. We're going to get real active today. Okay. So now y'all can actually see the entire process. All right. So I'm going to come today. I want a little Mediterranean vibe on my salmon. So I'm going to come with the Greek seasoning across the top of it. Right now, you don't need any more than this. You don't have to come with like 4 or 5 seasonings. Like, you just want to make sure you give your joint a decent flavor. Okay. Now, guess what? This is done. Slide that out the way. Now it's time for us to get active. Now, I would normally cook like 2 of these at a time, but because I'm testing out this new setup, right here, I am just going to start with 1, and then we'll kind of see how that goes. And because I needed to go with a smaller pan. So, of course, listen, you have to oil your pan. Really simple, right? All right, so what I'm going to do is this. As that warms up, I'm going to toss my salmon in the pan. Now, here's the trick. One of the tricks that you all have to start putting into practice at your house. All right. When you cook it, do not put your food in the pan until your pan is hot. Like when it touches down, you want to hear that. Got it? It's like an instant sear. So when you put it in there, is what you want to hear. I'm not going to throw this in because I just turned it on. I'm going to give it some time to warm up. So while it's warming up, this is your time to prep kind of some other things in the kitchen. When y'all cook, do you set a vibe in your kitchen when you cook? That's a serious question. Like, do y'all just cook and you just kind of rush through like the whole cooking process? Or do you actually like set a vibe in your kitchen? Me, I believe in setting a vibe in my kitchen. I absolutely set a vibe in my kitchen. Well, George, how do you set a vibe? All right, number 1, I love natural light. So like the windows are open. I feel like God blessed us with this beautiful gift of sun. So I'm going to let the natural light in here set a vibe, right? Boom. Secondly, now this is just me, right? You might like R&B, you might like jazz, you might like whatever. I encourage you to put that on while you cook. Set a vibe. Me, I like to listen to the word while I cook. I like to listen to the word. I like to have the word on the background. If it's my dad or if it's another pastor that I listen to, I like to have the word on in the background while I'm cooking. I don't like to be on the phone while I cook. It's distracting. What do I think about olive oil? It's cool. You just have to look at the label and kind of see. A lot of times you are going to pick up excess fats from different oils that you use. So I would implore you to check the label when you're in the store. That's why I prefer Pam. Pam has 0 grams of fat. So I'm not picking up any extra fat. Like a lot of times you have to look at that. When you're looking at using oil, it might tell you like a tablespoon is an extra 5, let's say 10 grams of fat. I don't know, right? I don't think I have any up there. So you're talking about 10 grams of fat, right? So if you're talking about 10 grams of fat, you know you're not measuring out a tablespoon and putting it in the pan. You just pour until you feel good, right? So you want to make sure you look at the label to make sure you're not picking up excess fat, because you don't want to stack your day by taking in so much of this fat just in all your different meals, okay? All right, so boom. Feels like we got a little warm here. But back to what I'm saying. Set a vibe. I don't like to be on the phone when I cook. Right? Because it's distracting. I like to just be at peace. Like, you want to be at peace so that you just love the entire cooking process. Just flow through your thing, right? If you're on the phone, like a lot of times, you can go in the grocery store and be on the phone, and a 10-minute grocery trip turned into 45 minutes to an hour because you were on the phone, so you were distracted. I like to be as efficient as I can in the kitchen. I'm gonna also say to them, I like to light a little candle. Right? I like to light a little candle, get a little vibe going, right? Number 1, I light a candle because I don't like my house smelling like food. As much as I cook, I don't like my house to smell like food. And anybody that's been over my house, they know like my house doesn't smell like food, but I cook a whole lot of meals each and every week. So boom. All right, let's get to it, though, right? So here we go. Hopefully this isn't too big for this. Yeah. Did y'all hear that? See, that's what I mean when I say let that bad boy get good and hot. So there's a nice little sear to it, okay? I'm going to throw my gloves on. At least one of them, so that I can kind of handle the fish like I need to. But yeah, so you want to let that salmon is not a fish that you have to cook long. I told you guys a lot of times we tend to overcook salmon. We don't have to let it cook long. You want to give it about 4 to 5 minutes on each side, right? And then I'm also going to sear the sides of it. I don't know if when you're cooking in your house, you just cook the top and the bottom, but you should also turn it on the sides and give it like a quick little sear. I usually give it like a 8 count or a 10 count when I turn it on the sides. But it's up to you, right? So we're gonna let that sear for a second. And with salmon, you can actually watch it. I can't give you that camera angle to look down on it, but when you're in your kitchen and you're cooking, you can actually look at it. You heard it, right? Yeah, you heard it, Miss Smith. You heard that, right? So when you're looking at it, you can kind of see where it's starting to go from that bright pink kind of color to like a little bit of a darker color. Like, so as I'm watching that kind of rise up, it's letting me know kind of how it's cooking. But like I said, a typical rule of thumb, 4 to 5 minutes. You do not need more than 4 to 5 minutes on each side. And when I flip it, now keep in mind, when I flip it, because my seasonings are on top, that's going to give the top a little char. It's okay. Don't let anybody tell you that you burned it. You did not. Your seasonings have a little char depending on what type of seasonings you use, right? A little char is good. You know that. You go places, you get a little char, but it's not, it's a difference between like a little char and then something being cooked or overcooked. And I just need y'all to stop overcooking fish. Like if y'all lock into this show, I have to keep giving you tools to help you be successful in your own kitchen, right? And this is a main one that I just constantly see. I don't want us to keep overcooking our fish. All right, so boom. And I'm cooking this on, this of course isn't my stove, but the only settings on here are low, medium, and high. I have this on medium. If your stove looks anything like mine, I typically cook salmon on anywhere from 5 to 6. 8 is too high. 4 is too low. So anywhere from 5 to 6 is kind of my range. And I say that because you don't want your fish to cook too fast and you don't want it to cook too slow. You got what I'm saying? My bad. I really should have got both gloves. All right. So here we go. Boom. All right. So we're just about done on this bottom side. So I'm going to give it a flip because it's going to get too. Where's my time? What are we looking like? 22 minutes. Okay. All right. So I might just cook. I'm not going to cook both pieces of fish. I'll just cook one piece of fish because I need to show you guys how to make the sauce. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Dang, man. I should have went ahead and overcooked it so I could show you all what I know your fish looks like in your own house. But it's okay. All right. So boom. Now. Yeah, buddy. Y'all see that nice coloration right there? See, not overcooked, still quite pink, nice sear to the top. Now, I'm going to let this bottom cook. What did I tell you? For another 4 to 5 minutes. That's all you need, right? Because it's going to go back in the pan again when we make this sauce. And I'm going to teach you guys how to baste your fish with some sauce. Ooh. All right, my bad. I try not to jump off camera too much. Here we go. All right, so boom. Now, see, this is the time you're watching this. A lot of times you start getting distracted. You say like, oh, I got time in the kitchen. Let me go do something else. Certain items that you cook in the kitchen, you do not need to walk away from. This is not the 90s. Set it and forget it. This is not that. Stay on top of it. That way you prevent yourself from overcooking those items. Got it? All right, so boom. Got a nice little sear. I'm going to show y'all the difference too at the end when I cut the middle, like how your salmon should be really soft and delicate. It shouldn't be super firm. It should be soft and delicate. We got a little more time. So this is where like I had a word in. I'm just chilling, vibing. I told you I got my candle, got my listen, a matcha a day. A matcha a day. A matcha a day. Look it up. A matcha a day. And I make mine at home. I don't go to Starbucks for matcha. I make mine right here at the house. Y'all just know as I've gotten older, I've learned that there's so many things that I can do in my house rather than just going to pay somebody to do it for me. I can just do it myself, right? Again, I love the kitchen. It's a place I love to be, so I don't run from it. You got to start learning to love different areas of your house that you might run from. All right, here we go. Let's get up on here. Yeah, buddy. Let me get a nice little side sear. Well, that's like an 8 to 10 count, right? Like an 8 to 10 count. Come back here for a second. Now, when I flip it back up on this top side, you're going to be able to see what that sear did on the bottom side. Y'all see how pretty that is right there? Not overcooked, soft. You see how my hand can just kind of go down in it? Boom, that's good. Trust me, that's good. Nice little sear on the other side. All right, boom, boom. Yes, it is definitely cost effective. Yes. All right, boom. Give it another little second on the top side. Faith, you drink matcha too? Great for Faith. Welcome to the club, baby. They don't know. We're gonna have to put them on, Faith. We're gonna have to put them on. We'll put them on. Don't worry. We'll put them on to the matcha life. We'll help y'all. We'll help y'all. We got y'all. We got y'all. All right, so boom. All right, let's come up off of it. All right, so here we go. Now, I will let you all see what that looks like just to give you a shot of that. All right, boom. Perfectly cooked. It's not that dark pink. It's still quite soft. I will show you. See how I can press down in that? You see how it has give to it? That's what you want. All right, now I'm gonna show you how to make this sauce real quick. And yeah. All right, so boom. Hey, we're gonna use some coconut aminos. I'm a fan of coconut aminos. All right, so we're gonna come with the coconut aminos. Pour those in. All right, now it doesn't matter what type of honey you use. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're just gonna get that a little whisk in there because you want to throw some flavor in there. Ah, man. Oh. Come with a lemon. I meant to have my squeezer, but it's okay. All right, so squeeze a little lemon juice in there. I'm partial to using fresh ingredients, but you could also just get the kind of lemon juice that you use, in teas and things like that. You can use that lemon juice. Also, I'm just partial to using fresh ingredients. I'm going to come with a little garlic seasoning. Again, quick recipe, not too in depth. Boom. Now, last but not least, I'm going to come with some minced garlic. All right, minced garlic. You could also chop up some fresh garlic. Now, when it comes to this, minced garlic just tends to work better for me. Like, but I thought you just said you use. I do. I do. Now, you're going to get a nice little whisk. Why am I giving that a whisk? Because if you notice, I put in that honey. Honey is heavy. So honey tends to sink to the bottom and it will stick to the bottom and it will not break down into your sauce. So you want to make sure you kind of give it a little mix. And typically I would make this in a pan that's a little deeper, but because I'm doing this on stream for you guys, I don't have that option. So I have to whisk gingerly so that I don't, kind of splash this all out. But that's the consistency of your sauce, right? All right, so now what are we going to do next? We are going to come back with our fish and drop that fish right in there. Drop that fish right in there, right? So now once it gets here, I don't have to flip it again, right? I do not have to flip it again. I'm only cooking one. Because I'm not even really cooking it. I'm really just allowing the bottom to absorb the liquid. While that's happening, I'm going to do what you call basting. I'm going to baste the top side so that same sauce, now it takes over the fish really, really good. And honestly, once I finish, like if I'm cooking multiple pieces of salmon, I will take the sauce afterwards and I will pour it in I keep squirt bottles like these in my house because when I cook things that have a sauce, I just use man, listen, this sauce is so good on some rice. Listen. So I will take this sauce from the same salmon and I will put it on the salmon once I plate it. But then I will also put it over the rice that I make, or even if you made some vegetables, it's just a really good sauce. I also will use this sauce on a salad. Like, listen to me. I'm telling y'all. All right, so boom, you just want to baste it a little bit though. Now, this meal is pretty much done. It's done. Nothing more to it. Very simple. Very simple. So now I'm going to come off of here with it, right? Lift that up. Now, and then I'm going to break it because I want you to see what that middle looks like, right? So now we're here. Let me push this back so y'all can get, boom, here you go. All right, so now we're here. I want you guys to see how the middle, watch how easy this breaks through with no resistance. Y'all see what I'm saying? With no resistance. Now, you see how this is slightly pink on the inside? That is how you want your salmon. You don't want it super firm. You want it slightly pink. I promise you. And you will thank me later. Listen, it never misses. This never misses. But the one thing you have to remember is don't overcook the fish. Don't overcook the fish. You don't have to cook the fish like a burger. You don't have to be well done. You want it slightly pink on the inside. That's how you want. You see how easy this just breaks up? Look at that. You see how easy that just breaks apart? That is how you want your salmon. You don't want your salmon like where you gotta actually use your fork to break it down. If you were to go to with frozen salmon cooked the same way, yes, you just need to let it thaw completely out. Let it thaw completely out and then go from there. I just tend to like the fresh salmon. That's just me because I like to go buy the whole plank of salmon and then chop it up from there so I can control kind of my portion sizes. And when I buy a whole plank of salmon, I'm usually spending about 24, 25 bucks on the plank. And that usually yields 6 to 7 pieces, depending on how thick you cut them. If you get like 8 or 9 pieces out of that, then you're cutting those pieces really, really thin. And I wouldn't recommend it because one thing you got to understand, like food, when you cook it, it does cook down a little bit. So if you're starting with a really small portion and then it's going to cook down even more, you're going to be looking like, well, dang, I need 2 pieces. Right. That's why you don't cut them that small. Right. So this is the finished product. This is great. Y'all can see that. Like, I just want to bring that up so you can see the coloration of that. I want y'all to see and just see how easy that just comes apart. That is how you want your salmon cooked. So listen, I appreciate you guys tuning in today. What did my mom say? I will thank you today if I can have that piece. Mom, I promise you, I will make this other piece and I'll bring it to work tomorrow. And that'll be your lunch. And I'll make some rice with it. That's actually what I got sitting on the stove. Y'all see that pot? That's not the same pot from last week or the week before. I cook rice every week. So yes, I got you, Mom. I just made that rice last night, this morning, 1 to 2. So yes, Mom, I got you. I will do this other piece and bring that especially for you. Merry Christmas, happy birthday. Thanks for being such a great mom. But to everybody else, man, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope that you all took notes and I hope you are able to put this into practice. Hey, listen, if you have my number or if you see me, let me know some other things that you want to see me cook on here. Let me know some other proteins or vegetables that you would like to see me mess with. I am going to do a series on cooking vegetables because we do overcook our vegetables too. Absolutely. We overcook our vegetables too, just like we overcook the fish. So I'm going to do, I think that's probably what I'll talk about next is really how to cook our vegetables so that they still have a crunch to them and that you still get all of your nutritional benefits. If you overcook your vegetables, you have cooked out the nutrients from your vegetables. So yeah, you ate the vegetables, but you cooked all the nutrients out. So they're really not beneficial for you. We'll talk about that next time we get together. Hey, listen, you all be blessed. I appreciate you tuning in. I love you all. I hope you have a phenomenal, phenomenal week. Listen, maintain this body. Make decisions to maintain this body. You must maintain this body. Daily confession, you must maintain this body. And when you say, you don't say you say I. I must maintain this body, right? I must maintain this body, all right? Y'all be blessed. Have a phenomenal week.